Hello there guys, welcome to another of my videos. On this video there's a few things to negotiate about. So I just want to confirm with you that Manchester City's 2-year ban from the Champions League has been overturned by CAS. This got confirmed earlier on today. So Manchester City will be playing in the Champions League next season. City did get fined in February 25 million for breaking financial fair play rules, but now that fine has been reduced to 8 million. So, from a City perspective, they'll be very, very delighted with this. Now, City will feel as though that they can be competitive in the summer transfer window. They will feel as though they can be competitive now. So now, reflecting on, City's ban being overturned, we've got to now finish in the top four to get qualification for the Champions League. Obviously, if City hadn't got their ban overturned, then obviously, fifth place would have been a Champions League spot. As it stands at the moment, we are just 2 points behind Chelsea and only 1 point behind Leicester. And, we've had a good weekend, because, Chelsea lost 3-0 at Sheffield United. Leicester lost 4-1 at Bournemouth. So if we beat Southampton tonight, we can go third in the Premier League table. But yes, I just wanted to confirm with you, City's ban has been overturned by CAS. They appealed a while ago, did Manchester City, but obviously, the appeal took a while, to process and that. So that's the news I just wanted to give you on that. And, as well, City are now going to convince their imperative players to stay. I think probably De Bruyne will now stay with them. Gabriel Jesus will now stay with them. Probably Raheem Sterling will stay with them. Sergio Aguero, But, I thought maybe them players would have left, if Manchester City's ban would not have been overturned. And the Champions League is a priority for Manchester City. That's the only trophy they haven't won, Manchester City, the Champions League. Obviously, Pep Guardiola's won the Champions League. He did win it as Barcelona manager, But City, do want to win the Champions League because they've already won the Premier League. Is it like 4 times now? Obviously, Liverpool have already won it this season, but, last season before, Manchester City had won the title. So they will be delighted with this. By the way, I just want to give you some news now regarding David De Gea. Solsjakers recently been talking about David De Gea. He said that David De Gea needs trophies with personal milestones. And he says, that David De Gea can have another decade at the top level. Now, of course, David De Gea's, this has been his 9th season at Manchester United. He is approaching his 10th year at the football club. And analysing it, I think David De Gea's had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at the football club. Because in the last couple of years, David De Gea has made, a lot of mistakes. And, this is why he has been criticised. But he is still regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world, is David De Gea, reflecting on what he's achieved at the football club. He's won everything he domestically. He's also won individual awards, reflecting on his good run of performances. David De Gea is set to make his 400th appearance tonight for Man United in all competitions, and he'll only become the second goalkeeper to do this after Alex Stefani. At the moment, David De Gea is on 399 appearances. He has overtaken Peter Schmeichel on appearances as David De Gea. But, we paid, was it around just over £18 million for him from Atletico Madrid back in 2011. David De Gea. Like I said, when he does eventually leave Manchester United, I think he will go back to Spain. The main explanations is because he was born in Spain, his relatives are from Spain, he began his footballing career in Spain. Don't forget, back in 2015, David De Gea was close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine, his move to Real Madrid never materialised. So he ended up staying at Man United. David De Gea is on 375 grand a week because he signed a 4-year deal last September. I think David De Gea will remain our number 1 goalkeeper for next season. Dean Henderson probably will be our number 1 in the foreseeable future. Quite a few weeks ago, Solskjaer was talking about Dean Henderson, and he said that he's not yet ready to become Man United's number one goalkeeper, but he did say that he expects Henderson to be England's number one and Manchester United's number one goalkeeper in the future. At the moment, Dean Henderson is out on loan with Sheffield United, and this has been his second season on loan with Sheffield United. You know, he's had a few loan spells as Dean Henderson, you know. What? Alright. Mm. Mm. Sorry, I was just having a drink there, but yeah, had loan spell with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury. You know, we got Dean Henson in 2011 from Carlisle. You know, we actually got him as a 14-year-old. There's still stories coming out saying that Chelsea are in for Dean Henderson. But yeah, so David De Gea is going to remain our number one goalkeeper. You saw my video that I did this morning. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made a transfer prediction saying that Man United are attractive to any young player. So he says, that Solskjaer says any young player would be determined to come to Manchester United. And, there has been quite a few young players on our agenda, Jadon Sancho, still on our agenda. Manchester City now could go in for him, now they've had that European ban overturned. Obviously, we've missed out on a few young players as well, like I mentioned this morning. Haaland rejected a move to Man United. Also, too, Jude Bellingham rejected a move to Man United. We got Bruno Fernandes in January. So there's been a lot of young players on our agenda. But Solskjaer said earlier on in his managerial career, he said he wants to recruit young British talents to Manchester United because three of the five players that he has recommended in so far are British. Don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say that our plans for next season, our transfer strategy, and our pre-season plans are up in the air. They are up in the air. And I said to you, didn't I, there's a lot of uncertainty regarding the summer transfer window. I don't even know what our transfer budget's going to be, to be quite honest. Solskjaer did say quite a few weeks ago he's unsure how much he's going to get to spend, with the financial impact of the coronavirus pandemic. I know before the resumption of the season, during lockdown, that we'd taken a £140 million loan to help us get the right calibre players to the football club in the summer transfer window. One thing Solskjaer did say regarding the summer transfer window, he will not buy any rotten. He will avoid buying any rotten apples, and he said to our players quite a few weeks ago he will avoid. He warned our players that he will not tolerate any rotten apples in the squad. Solskjaer's already spoken to Ed Woodward. Well, he's spoken to Ed Woodward quite a few times, and he's revealed the three positions, where he wants to strengthen up. And Solskjaer has said he wants to recommend the right winger in. He also wants to recommend the striker in, and he also wants to recommend a centre defensive midfielder in. There's also stories coming out saying that, Solskjaer wants to recommend a centre-half in, but I think we are looking to make around 3 signings in the summer transfer window. This is, what we are looking to do. But, the summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. And Solskjaer knows he's got the backing of Ed Woodward, and he's also got the backing of the Glazers. But big decisions are to be made in the summer transfer window, of what players Solskjaer's going to recommend in, and, what players he's going to get rid of. I think Solskjaer's planning to get rid of at least 5 players in the summer transfer window. So if we can get rid of players in the summer transfer window, we are going to generate money that way. But I think we will be competitive in the summer transfer window. You know, like I said, we go up against Southampton tonight. Not that long now until kick-off. We are looking to extend our unbeaten run to 18 games in all competitions. As it stands at the moment, we are unbeaten in our last 17 games in all competitions, and I think we are unbeaten in our last 10 league games, and this is our best vein of form since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. I'm very, very convinced that we'll win tonight against Southampton. We've got 4 games remaining in the Premier League, and obviously, Solskjaer has come out and demanded maximum points, and he said we've got to win all our remaining games if we are to get third. Solskjaer was recently talking about the importance of Champions League qualification. I think, us getting Champions League qualification is probably going to have an impact on our business in the summer transfer window. And we want Champions League qualification. I think minimum we'll finish is 4th. Like I said, we can win 2 trophies this season, and that is the FA Cup and the Europa League, because we are into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. We've got Chelsea, that's upcoming. Really looking forward to that game. And obviously, we're more or less into the last day of the Europa League, because we are 5-0 up against Lask from the first leg. Don't forget, recently the Europa League draw was done. And that. I think we can win at least 1 trophy this season under Solskjaer, and if we could do that, it would restore winning mentality into the team. Solskjaer did recently challenge us to go unbeaten for the remainder of the season. Now, I've already given you my preview for the Southampton game, and I've already given you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference. Now, like I said to you, Solskjaer did say recently that he was going to be going with an unchanged team. Obviously, if he was to go with an unchanged team tonight, it will be the 5th game in a row he's gone with the exact same team, and that would be the first time we'd have done that since February 1993. So that's 27 years ago now. But I've just been reading reports, and it actually says that Solskjaer could make a bit of rotation in the squad. So I don't know, to be quite honest with you, but I'm still fairly confident that we'll win tonight against Southampton. I did say to you though, didn't I, recently, Southampton have been in a good vein of form recently. Earlier on in the season, Southampton were facing a relegation battle, and Ralph Hasenhüttl was under so much pressure, and I thought he was going to get sacked as Southampton manager, was Ralph Hasenhüttl. But since that 9-0 defeat to Leicester, Southampton, have rejuvenated themselves since then. I think they are unbeaten in their last 3 league games. We've got a good record against them. We're unbeaten in our last 8 games against Southampton. The game earlier on in the season at St Mary's was 1-1, and the game at Old Trafford last season was 3-2. But we've still got points to prove in these, remaining games. We have still got points to prove. Reflect on the win against Aston Villa recently. We won by 3-0, but reflecting on that win, we became the first team in Premier League history to win 4 consecutive games by 3 or more goals. So that was very, very good to see. Like I said, Solskjaer's been talking a lot about Mason Greenwood recently. He said that Man United are not worried about Mason Greenwood burning out, because Mason Greenwood has been starting a lot recently, hasn't he? And earlier, it was contrast because earlier on in the season, the vast majority of Mason Greenwood's appearances come from that substitutes bench, didn't they? Don't forget. They came from that substitutes bench. But he's my preference over Daniel James. Mason Greenwood is on 16 goals for Manchester United this season in all competitions, and he's looked very, very effective on that right-hand side. And Solskjaer did recently say that Mason Greenwood is ready to play for England at senior level. He was also recently talking about Rashford. He said he's been very, very happy with Rashford since the resumption of the season. He's only scored 1 goal though since the resumption of the season, but he's still been very happy with him. Rashford was a big miss earlier on in the season because he was out with that back injury. because he was out with that back injury. Obviously, I've been very, very, very. Wait a second. I've been very, very impressed with Bruno Fernandes. Very, very impressed with Bruno Fernandes. Become the first player to win back-to-back Player of the Months since Cristiano Ronaldo, because he won the Premier League Player of the Month for June, and he also won Premier League Player of the Month for February, reflecting on his good run of performances. But definitely, Bruno Fernandes has made the difference in the team. I've also been very, very happy with Paul Pogba since the resumption of the season. He scored his first goal this season, in the 3-0 win against Villa, and it was his first goal since April 2019. I think Paul Pogba's the foreseeable future for Man United. You already know the news regarding Pogba. Fabrizio Romano recently said that we have been in negotiations with his agent Mino Raiola over extending his contract at the football club. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his contract at the club, but we do have an option to extend it for a further year. So we know that Paul Pogba is staying at Manchester United, but if we can get him a long-term contract, then the uncertainty over his future, will, stop. So there you go. And Paul Pogba was a big miss earlier on in the season because he was out with that ankle injury in that. He was out with that ankle injury, so there you go. But like I said to I have taken positives from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure so far. Like I said, he's recommended 5 good players into the football club so far and spent just over £200 million. He's also promoted the youth very, very well. The young players have been given their chances. Also, too, our record against the Big Six sides this season's been good. We've taken 18 points against the Big Six sides this season. We've beaten Man City 3 times this season. Also, we've beaten Chelsea 3 times this season, drew with Liverpool earlier on this season, beat Leicester earlier on this season. Solskjaer's also beaten Tottenham twice as a manager, so that's obviously, very, very good. And Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the football club. I think we have seen over 20 players leave Man United, since Solskjaer came in. So they are the positives to take from his tenure so far. And I think also too, Solskjaer's decision making's really, really improved. Now he seems to have a plan A, seems to have a plan B, but earlier on in the season, he didn't really have a plan A or a plan B. So you can see the improvements, you really, really can. But we're now heading in the right direction under Solskjaer. We've also we are facing a dilemma, regarding the contracts, but we have still got around 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year, so Solskjaer's got to make a decision on them. But on the other hand, we've extended a lot of players' contracts since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came into the football club. Solskjaer has been at Manchester United now for 18 months, so he has been here a year and a half. Solskjaer will definitely be Manchester United manager next season, even if we don't get qualification for the Champions League, because I said he does need at least another season because it is a transition period and it has been a transition period for a while. I said to you, didn't I, next season our expectations will be to challenge for the Premier League title because, at the moment City and Liverpool are strides ahead of us, and Solskjaer recently made an admission saying that we've got to spend money to compete with the likes of City and Liverpool. But this has been the 7th season now we have failed to mount any kind of title challenge up. Like I said, the last time we won the Premier League was back in 2013 in Alex Ferguson's last season. I'm very, very convinced that we can get a title under Solskjaer, and if we could do this, it would be our 21st title, because as it stands at the moment, we have won 20 titles and, 13 of them are Premier League titles and that, so we are still the most successful team in England. We are still the most successful team. But obviously, earlier on in the season, I didn't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure at Man United was going to work out, Because don't forget, earlier on in the season, we had a lot of bad results. We lost to the likes of Palace at home. We lost to West Ham away. We lost to Newcastle away 1-0. And that's when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was under serious pressure at the club. And earlier on in the season, we'd enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season ever. And at that point, there was talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in. There was also talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. But I've already gone through with you, what saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Manchester United and that. And another good thing about Solskjaer as well, like I've said before, he's gained a lot of managerial experience now. Reflecting on how long he's been with us, Manchester United is the third club in his managerial career. And, Solskjaer's our fourth permanent manager since the Ferguson era. Obviously 3 managers been sacked since the Ferguson era, and that was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. So we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers. In the last 7 years, we have spent close to the £1 billion range on players. Drink this. Close to the £1 billion range on players, and we've recruited over 30 odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. So people say, reflect on the money we spent. We should be where Liverpool are, or at least where Manchester City are. But it just proves always spending big on players does not always guarantee you success. And we've only won 3 trophies since Ferguson left, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho. But like I said to the vast majority of these players are not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. Put into the equation Solskjaer's inheriting players either from the Jose Mourinho era. There's still some players either from the Louis van Gaal era. And, still matter either from the David Moyes era. But the vast majority of these players are Jose Mourinho's and that. So let's just put that into the equation. I think Solskjaer now has just got under 2 years left on his contract at Man United, because when he got the job permanently in March last year, he signed a 3-year contract at the football club. And like I said, I've been getting glimpses of the Alex Ferguson days in this unbeaten run. Like I've said to you before, I don't think anyone will replicate Ferguson's legacy, or I don't think, anyone will last as long as Ferguson did, but I think we can be back being competitive under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because Solskjaer knows the traditions of the club well, because he was a great player for us for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance, he really, really did. Like I said, we've got a good squad. It is a top 4 squad, it's not good enough as yet, to win the league or challenge for the league. This is, why I said, we need a few signings. We've also got some long-serving players at the club as well. You got De Gea now. This has been his 9th season. You've got Juan Mata. This has been his 6th season at Man United. You've got Shaw. This has been his 6th season at Man United. You've got Martial. This has been his 5th season at the club. You've got Rashford. He's been at the club for several years. You've got Lingard. That's been here for several years and all of that. You've got Phil Jones. This has been his 9th season at Manchester United. And we haven't only got long-serving players now. We've also had a lot of long-serving players before. Valencia enjoyed 10 years at the club. He left last summer. Young, he enjoyed 8.5 years at the club. He left in January for Inter Milan. Fellaini, he enjoyed 6 years. He left in January 2019. First player to leave under Solskjaer, Herrera. He left after he enjoyed 5 years at the club. So, there you go now. And we've had a lot of good players, up and down the generations. I think probably the best player we've had in the Premier League era is definitely Cristiano Ronaldo. It really, really is. But revert back to the transfers. The news regarding Sancho. Borussia Dortmund's price is being revealed, and they do remain ruthless over their valuation. Dortmund have said, that they want around £116 million. We have said we are not willing to smash our transfer record for Sancho. I think it said we've set our limit and we're only willing to pay either 60 or 70 million pounds for any player. It recently said that we're only willing to pay £50 million for Sancho, but Dortmund have said they'll only let him go if their asking price is met. But like I said, City could now go back in for him. There were stories coming out quite a few weeks ago saying that Sancho's open to making a return to Man City. Because Sancho is a former Manchester City player, don't forget. You already know the news regarding Jack Grealish from Aston Villa as well. You know, he's another player on our agenda. But there you go. Your match reaction for the game game tonight will probably be coming up tomorrow morning, more than likely. Probably won't be tonight because I won't have time. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do. Consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.